Maybe it would have been more appropriate to wear a pink shirt, but I think that this one looks a little like the one that Katie wears when Regina gets hit by the bus, so good enough. 0 score, and 2 years ago, a slightly younger Julia would upload Mean Girls 2 is a garbage movie with the description, "I want to make a video about how awesome the real Mean Girls is now." Today, she makes right by that wish. That's right, folks. On this blessed October 3rd, we are practicing positivity, as per usual, because as we all know, my content is always super positive. Who has 2 thumbs and never a bad attitude? This. In all seriousness, I couldn't imagine not posting something about Mean Girls today, so I guess this is going to be an annual thing. Maybe one day I want to revisit Mean Girls 2 because I think that my videos have improved immensely since then, and I have a lot of recipes left in the Burn cookbook, but for today, I thought it would be fun to dive into why I think that the original Mean Girls is the quintessential high school comedy. That's right. Superbad, The Breakfast Club, not good enough. Heather's walked so Mean Girls could run. I'm kidding. I love all those movies too, and if one of them is your favorite high school comedy, then that's fine. It's just that Mean Girls is my favorite, and I'm out here making subjective claims, so don't worry about it. It's going to be a shorter video, just a little celebration of Mean Girls Day. I figured that other YouTubers post, like, shorter videos sometimes, so maybe just once I can get away with it. So, among other things, there are 3 umbrella basic reasons why I think Mean Girls has stuck with me so much and why I think it is so iconic in general to everyone. The first of which being comedy, obviously.
We have a new student joining us. She just moved here all the way from Africa.
Welcome. I'm from Michigan.
It's impossible to remember which jokes I liked the best and why upon first viewing because it came out when I was like 5. I'm not sure if that was the year that I watched it, but I definitely was young. Probably too young to be allowed to, but it's fine. My mom's a cool mom. We were watching Mean Girls and Bring It On out of the womb. The point is that it's hard to look back at this movie I know so well, at these jokes that I know so well, and try to analyze them like they've exited the realm of analysis. What I can tell you is that I think it is arguably the most quotable movie of all time. I've made the mistake before, though, of thinking that it's funny because it's quotable, where it's kind of the opposite. It's quotable because it's funny, and we're back to square one. So if I absolutely have to attempt to explain why I think Mean Girls is funny, I guess I would say that I don't think it's as simple as the jokes themselves. Mean Girls mostly operates with one-liners. They throw a couple of physical things in there and then, like, every once in a while something that's just kind of bizarre, but mostly what you're working with is...
I mean, that's just like the rules of feminism.
Boo, you whore.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
As fun as these lines are, if you took them out of Mean Girls, they wouldn't mean as much. For contextual reasons, but also I think because Mean Girls exist in a heightened reality that gives these jokes more impact. The jokes don't work as well or stick with you as much if you're not fully invested in this universe that's all about girl drama. You know? The theme and the story and the vibe complement the humor and the other way around. That's the best I could do. Thank you very much.
But this was Girl World.
Your hair looks sexy pushed back.
And in Girl World, all the fighting had to be sneaky.
Something I regret about my Mean Girls 2 video is overstating how realistic Mean Girls is. It's true that it's far, far less out of this world than its sequel, but it's still in, like, the movie realm of hyper-reality. Like, you're not going to go to a new school and then develop a master plan to overthrow the queen bee, right? But what I mean when I say Mean Girls is realistic is that it understands bullying and girl drama a lot more than any other movie I've ever seen. Some of you might know that Mean Girls is inspired by the book called Queen Bees and Wannabes, which is a self-help book written for mothers to help their daughters, like, navigate high school drama. It's pretty famous actually for being super accurate and like helping people and stuff. I think that it shines through in the movie a lot. Something that bothers me about a lot of high school centric media, and I've complained about this 1,000 times, is the way bullies, specifically girl bullies, are portrayed as like cookie cutter rich girls with dogs in their purses. Compare them to Regina George, who is rich, yes, blonde, yes, but maintains her power position via manipulation and intimidation and acting nice enough that people like stay around you, but mean enough that they desire your approval. She's one of the best villains of all time, and I know that it's not an action movie, so you might be afraid to say that word, but by definition, I will say it. Yes, she is. Anna?
Yeah.
I'm doing a video.
Oh.
I cannot see you. There you go.
You're not wearing pink.
I thought, but I think this shirt looks like the one that Katie wears when she gets hit by the bus and when she falls in the trash.
Oh, okay.
So I decided that it was also fine.
Did you say that in the video?
I did already, yeah.
Okay.
And furthermore, above like even just bullying, Mean Girls understands girl politics, girl drama. That's like the whole thing. It's not as simple as fighting in the second act and making up in the end. It's ostracizing someone, gossiping about someone, sending someone else to deliver your apologies. These things are things that girls like have experienced on some level. Most of us, I would say. I definitely have. I don't think I've ever felt as understood or as validated watching another movie as I do when I watch Mean Girls, because it just understands what it's like to be a high school girl.
Regina George is an evil dictator. Now, how do you overthrow a dictator? You cut off her resources.
It's not only smart in the way it portrays high school, but the analogies and methods it uses to do so. The first being the weirdly political subtext. There's a whole video by The Take that explains this perfectly, and you should absolutely watch it. But basically, Mean Girls sort of compares popularity to government, or more accurately, Regina George to a dictator. This is pointed out and alluded to in the story in multiple ways. Just go watch that other video. Like, I'm not going to go into this more because they did it exactly right. They're my favorite video essay channel, by the way. Love them. Then there's the whole African wildlife thing, which I don't think gets enough of credit for how important it is to the movie. It's a clever way to point out how silly high school drama can seem from the outside. Like you're fighting in all of these roundabout ways to make it seem like you aren't, but really you're just going at it like wild animals. And it doesn't come out of nowhere either, because Katie was raised like as a zoologist or whatever the heck her parents are. Then they don't stop with the analogy, and they have it all lead up to the fact that the girls are going to have like an outright brawl near the end. It's magnificent. I think it's all of that. The subtext, the understanding of real life high school, and the metaphors that sort of elevate Mean Girls from being like just another comedy to like something bigger. It does a lot more than try to be funny, and it does it well. And that's all I have to say. This video is really, really short. I have a hard time complimenting things as opposed to being mean about them. When I enjoy things, I just want to enjoy them and not think about it too hard, you know? Stay fetch. I wrote that down to say in the end, and now I feel like that was dumb. Bye.